Hey, good afternoon, YouTube family. It's another day in paradise. Um, I was an emotional wreck today. I'm sorry. I'm trying to. Y'all know the situation about the glasses. Okay, I'm trying, but I have been very emotional today. Because yesterday we had a Black History program at church, and this time of year makes me think about my father. My father passed away in April, I believe it was April the 17th of 2007. So we're coming up on that 20-year mark of my father's passing. Um, I just don't have enough time to spend with you all to tell you what an amazing person my father was. Very loving, a real man. I mean, I never had to pay any bills as long as my father was around. After my father passed away, I had to start paying bills, and I was lost because I didn't know anything about that. Um, but Saturday we had a gentleman that came here, and he wanted some old photos of my grandfather. So if y'all look in the back of me, those are my grandparents on that picture back there. And so the gentleman that came by Saturday, he wanted some old photos of my grandfather, and I was asking him what the purpose was of him, having that. And he said, "Well, they were going to put together a Black History program," and I thought it was a great idea. And I told him, I said, "Well, you all just let me know whenever whomever puts this program together. I would love to be a part of it." Um, Now, my grandfather was someone that I did not know because he died when I was 3 years old, so I do not remember him. Everything I know about my grandfather is in this notebook, this photo album right here. And I forgot to mention to you all that I'm off because I work for the state of Mississippi, and today is President's Day, so I'm off today. That's why I'm live. So that was a blessing for you all. But everything I know about my grandfather is in this photo album here. Um, this is okay. These are awards. This is a picture of my grandfather, and I'm trying to get the glare out of it. Him and some of his fellow police officers. That is a photo of them, and these are probably about 25 police officers, and I see one, two, three, four, maybe five blacks. So this is a picture that we have in our photo album. And on the back is a certificate. Mississippi Law Enforcement Officers Training Academy. Certificate of Award. This is to certify that Perry G. Bennett has successfully completed the basic course in general law enforcement. So this is his basic training from the police academy. Okay. I'm trying to put this back in here, y'all, because this is like, these are precious memories, so we don't want to mess them up. Okay, this is another. Okay, this is February the 4th, 1974. United States Civil Service Commission, Atlanta Region. Certificate awarded Civil Service Commission for having successfully completed a 4-hour course of instruction. Basic management method and skills, Civil Service Commission. This is another one on the back here. Third United States Army Certificate of Training. Um, this certificate is given to Perry G. Bennett in recognition of satisfactory completion of explosive ordnance reconnaissance course, Jackson, Mississippi, September the 8th, 1970. The award was given September the 19th, 1970. That's another certificate. Let me see what else is in this book here, y'all. Let's see what else is in here. Okay, my mother had he was the policeman of the year. And this is an award from the National Rifle Association of America. Okay, this is a newspaper article about my grandfather. Salute to Sergeant Bennett. This is the Laurel Leader Call. February the 11th, 1977. A special salute goes to Sergeant Perry G. Bennett, juvenile officer of the Laurel Police Department, and being chosen as the Exchange Club's Policeman of the Year. This award culminates a week's activities of emphasis on crime prevention in our city. Special programs have been held at each school under the direction of different members of the police department. Bennett, the first Black man to be chosen for this honor, rightly deserves it as he was chosen by his fellow officers as the man who most exemplifies the standards of the department, not only during the past year, but since he has been a member of the department. His fellow officers in a secret ballot selected Bennett as a man they not only respect, but one of, quote, the nicest men on the force. Also nominated for Policeman of the Year were Lavelle Harrington, Jamie Bush, Don Scott, and Dale Buckhouse. The Exchange Club initiated the Policeman of the Year award back in 1964 with former Chief of Police Herman Aycock as the first winner. He was succeeded by Captain George Chancellor, now Sheriff of Jones County, Edgar Campbell, Tommy Elzey, and Dan Walters. The program was not held in 1969, but since that time, the winners have been Chief Paul Craven, Jim McDonald, Paul Little, Lavon Williams, Dewey Lee, Jim Clarida, and last year's winner, Harold Buckhouse. Bennett is a native of Laurel, born on South 4th Avenue, and graduated from Oak Park School. He joined the police force January the 1st, 1968, and became a sergeant January the 3rd, 1977. He is married to the former Catherine Talbert, and they have one child, Gwen. That's my mother. Parents with problem children have nothing but praise for Bennett, as they report he is kind and courteous not only to them but to their children. This speaks well of any officer, especially one who handles juveniles. Chief Craven said Bennett is a fine officer and a great asset to the police department. We salute you, Sergeant Bennett, and your fellow officers in bestowing upon you this deserved honor. This is a copy of the article, y'all. You can't really see it that good. You would have to be close up on it to actually see it. That was a National Rifle Association award there. Let's see. I got a copy of the article. My mom had the article blown up. It's here somewhere. She had it blown up. She had a bigger picture. She had the article blown up. Let's see. This is the article, but my mom had got a copy made of it and it was bigger. But this is him in the newspaper. That's him. Let's see. They got some other pictures of some other people that we know in from our community that were police officers. So he got a bunch of pictures of his fellow officers. Um, there's another my grandfather played football. This is him in his football uniform. Y'all see that? Y'all see him in his football uniform? And this is somebody giving him a recognition, like a card for being policeman of the year. That was a big deal at the time because I just read to y'all, he was the first African American policeman of the year for Laurel Police Department. Let's see here. There was another certificate that I wanted to share with you all. Let's see. We got a bunch of pictures of him in here, but I'm gonna show you all one that. Let's see. This is a black and white photo of him. That's him in black and white. Y'all see that? It's my grandfather, black and white photo of him. I was trying to find, there's a certificate that I want to share with you all about him. It was an award that I wanted. I didn't know he was the first African American policeman of the year. I just found it out when I read that. Ain't that something? Okay, this is what I wanted y'all to see. This is the certificate that I want y'all to see right here. Department of the Air Force Certificate of Appointment. This is from the United States Air Force. Okay, this one says, to all who shall see these presents, greeting. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelities and abilities of Staff Sergeant Perry G. Bennett Jr., I do hereby appoint him in the permanent grade of Staff Sergeant in the United States Air Force to rank as such from the first day of August 1954. He is therefore carefully and diligently to discharge the duty of Staff Sergeant by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel. Y'all, I'm trying not to get choked up because I didn't even know these things. And this book has this portfolio has been in our house all my life, and I'm 41. I didn't know. So and I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. And he is to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and uniform code of military service governing the discipline of the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Orlando Air Force Base. This 11th day of January in the year of our Lord, 1960. So this is the document from 1960 where he was appointed a staff sergeant in the United States Air Force, and this is Orlando Air Force Base. So this was in Orlando, Florida. Okay. This is an older picture of my grandfather. I guess this is from his military days. That's him right there at the end, on the end. I have some pictures of, I don't have any photos of me with my grandfather. because, like I said, I would have been 3. He passed away in 1987 when I was 3 years old. And then his wife, my grandmother, she died when I was 6. She died 3 years later. Would have been 1990. So my grandmother passed away in 1990. So y'all can do the math on how long she has been deceased. And her husband died 3 years before her. But this is another, well, I ain't gonna take this out the book, but this is another black and white photo of my grandfather. I had another picture of him that I wanted y'all to see. Let me take this out the book this way. I got another picture of him that I want y'all to see. This one right here is an old black and white photo of him. Y'all see that? That's an old black and white photo of my grandfather. Then on this side, here's another one here. Here's some more pictures of him on this thing here, if y'all can see those. There's him down there in the corner. Down here, that's him. There's him sitting in that chair, in that rocking chair. My mom said he loved to bake cakes. My mom said he loved to bake cakes, and my Uncle Lee said he liked to walk around the house with in his underwear. So those are just some of the things I know about my grandfather, is that he loved to bake cakes and he liked to walk around in his underwear. Let's see. I got another picture of him that I want to show y'all. Put this one away. There's another one that I want to show y'all. It's a color one. It's a picture in color. Put this book up. These are all his certificates. This book contains all his certificates. And let's see. I'm trying to find that picture that I want y'all to see. It should be in this book. Y'all, I got pictures everywhere for days and days and days. I got pictures everywhere. And I just looked at this picture earlier, y'all. I'm trying to find it again. Okay, here it is. This is what I wanted y'all to see. This is my grandparents and my parents. This is what I wanted y'all to see. My mom and dad and my grandfather and my grandmother. So that's all them. That's my family. Those are my ancestors. Mom, dad, granddad, and grandma. Now this is my dad's mother. Well, she was his grandmother, but she raised him. Her name is Ada Thomas. We used to call her Miss Ada. That's my dad's grandmother, Ada Thomas, and his uncle Denson Thomas. That's my parents and Ada and Denson Thomas. And that is Catherine and Perry Bennett, Gwen and Jerry Thomas. And today's live stream was about Perry Bennett, my grandfather with the black suit on. He was a police officer. And everybody knew him as PG. That was his name. That's what he went by, was PG. So we had a Black History program at church, and They talked about Rosa Parks and they talked about Bessie Coleman, but when I recorded the video and when I uploaded the video to my page, I mistyped her name. I said Bessie Walker, but her name is really Bessie Coleman. So they talked about Martin Luther King and so many of them. You know, we had our Black History program yesterday. They were talking about all these people that were famous. And Saturday, somebody came over here and was asking about my grandfather. And he wanted some of his old photos. And so I just decided to read those awards in that picture book. And y'all, I didn't know it, but my grandfather was the first African American officer to be awarded the Police Officer of the Year for Laurel Police Department. And also, he was a staff sergeant in the United States Air Force. Orlando, was based out of Orlando, Florida. So, again, everything I know about my grandfather came from my parents' word of mouth and from that photo book. I would love to have met him, you know, in person, but I was just too young to know him. My father was raised by his grandmother. So when I was in high school, my father's grandmother was in a nursing home. Miss Ada, the one I just showed y'all, her name is Ada Thomas. Alfred Thomas passed away many, many moons ago. I don't even know when Alfred Thomas passed away. But Alfred Thomas died when I was a child as well. I don't remember Alfred Thomas. I don't remember Perry Bennett. I do remember Ada Thomas. I remember my grandmother, Catherine, because she used to babysit me. So those are my ancestors. And I just thought it was a good idea for me to honor my family for Black History Month. I know at church we honored Dr. King and Rosa Parks, and I think they talked about Sojourner Truth. They talked about Bessie Coleman, and Bessie Coleman, or Elizabeth Coleman, was a pilot, was an African American female pilot. They talked about her. So many of them have gone on to be with the Lord that just were instrumental in us being who we are today. And I am so appreciative and grateful for all of their work and all of their sacrifices, especially Dr. King, because Dr. King lost his life for us to be treated like some people in this country. And I know we have a long way to go, but we just cannot forget what those people sacrificed and did for us. And I am grateful for that. And it also makes me think about my father during this time as well, because my father was a hard worker, and I could probably get 3 jobs and not work as hard as my father. I mean, he was a real man, and whoever wants to be with me, they have some large shoes to fill, because like I said, I didn't have to pay any bills. My father didn't allow me to. So that's just a heads up for anybody that wants to be with me. I'm not used to that. I didn't have to pay any bills. My father didn't make me. I didn't have to. He was just a real man. He just did everything for us. When my father passed away, I grew up because I didn't know nothing about it. I know how to pay a bill. I know nothing about that. So, you know, again, that's just a heads up for anybody that, I mean, you have some large shoes to fill when it comes to my father and my grandfather as well. Because for all intents and purposes, as far as I know, my grandmother did not work. I mean, I don't know anything about her having a job. So I know nowadays it's different, and people say their relationships are 50-50, but that's just not how I was raised. I thank you all for watching. Hope you get something out of this video. This was just something that God laid on my heart to do. I had a dentist appointment today. I was off work today because today is President's Day and it's a state holiday. So our office was closed, and I made a dentist appointment, and I was so full from our Black History program, and I was driving down the interstate going to my dentist appointment, and I was just crying and just bawling, just crying my eyes out, thinking about my father and my grandfather and their legacies. And I was thinking about my daughter and her certificates and everything, her awards. My grandfather will be so proud of her, and my father as well. My daughter is 13, and she has received more awards and more accolades in school than I did. So that is something that I am extremely proud of. And I also had shared a video on my channel about that Joe's College Road Trip movie. I was making a joke out of because he was doing a lot of cussing. Because my mom's oldest sister, she'll be 80 this year. So she was telling me a story about her grandmother. We call her Mama Rose. She was telling me a story about Mama Rose. She said, Mama Rose said, "Get out of here with that black guy." And she was telling me that when people come around and they do a lot of cussing back then, they used to say, "Oh, people used to say black guy, get away from me with that black guy." So that's what the joke was about that Tyler Perry movie I was watching. I said black guy. I said hashtag black guy because that's what the people used to call. You just have to know that. But anyway, that's what they used to call a person that was doing a lot of cussing. Used to call it black guy. But anyway, I thought the movie was funny. I do get the point of the movie, and there was somebody on Facebook that had shared a post about the movie being educational for young people. All of the privileges that they enjoy nowadays, someone paid the price for that. For example, Pastor Breeden was telling us yesterday about the area where we live. There's a railroad track nearby where we live. And when he was a child, you couldn't cross it. So everything that was on this side of the railroad track was for Black people. And everything on that side of the railroad track was for white people. So the neighborhood that my aunt lives in, when they were children, they couldn't even go over there. They couldn't go into that side of town. That was off limits. And then my mother always tells me the story about them having to walk. So they had to walk to church. They had to walk everywhere they went. They couldn't ask people for rides. My mom said they would get in trouble if they were walking somewhere and somebody offered them a ride and they accepted it. They would get in trouble for that. So nowadays it's just different. We got cars and God has blessed us. We can go anywhere we want to go and do anything we want to do. And people, Pastor Breeden always says people went to church back then. People went to church. They didn't have cars and they went to church. They walked to church. But nowadays, God has blessed us with cars and stuff like that, and we won't come there. We'll go anywhere else. We don't serve Him like we should. And that is a problem. And I tried to teach my daughter about putting God first in your life, and that starts at home. We can't expect anyone else to teach our children these things. We have to teach them. Learning starts at home. You can't send them somewhere and think that they're going to learn anything. They have to know before they go to the school or to the church or to the game, anywhere they go. The parents are responsible for teaching the children how to act. This is a problem I had when I was a teacher. The children some of them are just unruly. And when they get to school, it's too late because they're at home doing what they want to do, and then school is not really teaching them anything, because at home those ideas are not being reinforced. So that is a problem that we face as teachers, that teachers face, is that the ideas that are being taught in the classroom are not being reinforced in the home. But I am going to get off my soapbox now because it was time for my daughter and my nephew to get out of school. I just wanted to share that with you all while I had the time, that about my grandfather. His name was Perry Bennett, and some things that I learned about him. And I wanted to honor him for Black History Month, because he was a trailblazer too. And he was someone that was doing something for his community. I have another picture of him. This is the picture that's hanging up on our wall. I'll show y'all this one as well. Then I'll let y'all go. Okay. This is Catherine and Perry Bennett, and it hangs on this wall here. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see them? Y'all see them real well? All right, that's them. Those are my grandparents, and I live in their house. And with that being said, I am going to let you all go. You all have a blessed Monday. Be safe and a great work week. And I will probably be back on here next week talking about Mama's family. So you all have a blessed day.